Hi, this is Arash Azizi and I'm a supporter of Fightback, Marxist voice of Labour and Youth in Canada. We are here in Toronto, Sunday, June 27th, the evening, and after a militant week of protest in Toronto, probably unprecedented in the recent history of the country, it ended in the police attack on peaceful demonstrations that is going on right now. A few of our comrades, supporters of Fightback, were arrested as well. I'm happy to say that two of them are with me now, just released from the prison, and we want to hear about their experiences. Alan Katwiatong, and Michael Romando. What's your full name, brother?
Alan Waikitong.
That's his full name. Alan, please tell us what were you doing when you were arrested?
Well, essentially, me and a couple of other comrades, supporters of Fightback, decided to link up with this impromptu kind of march on that was happening around Yonge Street. Initially, there was some skepticism that it might have been anarchists, so-called anarchists that were running around the city doing riots and whatnot. But as we approached the masses, the crowds, we noticed that a lot of the people there were of a militant, not quite a militant youth nature, but a youth gathering that was reacting against the anger of all these police crackdowns that was happening around the protests. And, main slogans being, whose streets? Our streets. Those are the main slogans that we put forth. And essentially it was very peaceful. We emphasized on peaceful protests, we were cheering peaceful protests.
Where were you at this time?
At this time, we were just marching along with the masses and the crowds.
Where were you,
along Yonge Street. The route where we kind of linked up was along Yonge Street and marched down. The group itself attempted a couple of times to challenge the fence, essentially make counters to the fence, and just show that Torontonians can come together in a peaceful manner, and still oppose the militarization of the downtown core. And for us, it was a symbolic showing the fact that it wasn't high-rigged by so-called militant anarchists, but people that are just regular folks, regular youth, middle-aged adults who are willing to get active and take their cities back. And for me, that was.
But when were you arrested?
Oh well, I was the route eventually moved on from the fence and went down to Esplanade and Yonge, where the hotel workers were being organized at the Novotel. Union workers with United here at Local 75. And essentially at that point, the protesters, we did a sit-in march to support the union workers, sit-ins strike to support the union workers, and we're holding up peace signs and just trying to show the police that we can make a presence without being violent. And essentially it turned out to be a trap, frankly, because the police lines were organized right in front of us, and immediately police reinforced from the rears and surrounded our protest, and essentially became very tense at that point. So
Mike, where were you at this time?
Or at which time?
Where were you arrested?
So yeah, we were arrested basically at the right in front of the Novotel Hotel. We ended up being backed in to basically the area just outside the lobby of the hotel, off the street. We ended up all being backed up into there, and basically they took us one by one, and taking little people one by one or in pairs, and I guess they just dwindled it down to the end. I came out before it really dwindled down significantly. But there were probably only maybe 100-something left at that point, and they'd already taken quite a number in the actual street just by advancing on people and people being grabbed one by one there before we were pushed back into the sidewalk lobby area.
So let me get this clear. As I also read by the journalist, mainstream journalist Steve Pekin from TV Ontario, this was a peaceful demonstration in support of the striking workers of Novotel, and you were attacked by the police who kettled you basically in that area, surrounded you, and led to your arrest.
Well, peaceful protest was another one of my main slogans. And for myself, I took this opportunity, when they basically forced us into that pocket right by the hotel lobby. I was being, scrummed, interviewed by this person from the News Talk 1010, I believe is the radio channel called, and just basically discussing the idea of citizens, average citizens, not necessarily from a radical background, coming out to the streets, saying we're taking our streets back, in a peaceful manner. And for myself, like it's quite unfortunate. As I was having the interview, the scrum interview, a police officer, started yelling and said, that's a breach of peace. You're under arrest, and grabbed me from the crowd. So I was the first to be grabbed down, and basically just grabbed me. And that's their tactics, essentially, to grab one by one, to control the situation more easier. And for me, it was a pretty freaky experience.
Were you allowed to call a lawyer when you were arrested, any of you?
Well, like in my experience when I was in processing in the facility near the film studios, I demanded several times, yelling many times, asking the police, several police in my cell, several other prisoners in the cell, demanded access to legal aid.
They didn't let you call anybody?
They didn't let me call anybody. I asked several times in several hours, constantly over and over again as the court police walked by.
How about you, Mike?
No, I wasn't able to call legal aid as well. And actually,
or anybody, your family,
or anybody. And
the supporters of Fightback were also worried about these comrades, and the two others were not either. And there's no way for us to find out about their situation. Nobody's answering. They couldn't call anybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did confiscate our phones and such, but it's just that the fact that this is guaranteed under what we would know as like a conventional democratic model. That the fact that the demand to the right to ask for legal aid in order to allow just any average citizen to be able to wade through the justice system is a key demand that's needed. And the fact that they just stripped that from us, without any real reason, they said that not for this event, basically that's the line they said, not this time.